Imagine a boy sitting at his family's dinner table, lost in thought as a compass lies in his hand. The needle points unwaveringly north, and he's struck by a single question. What force guides this tiny object so persistently? That boy was Albert Einstein, and that question was the spark of a lifelong obsession, an obsession that would redefine how humanity understands the universe itself. But Einstein's journey was anything but predictable. Born in 1879 in the small German town of Ulm, he didn't seem destined for greatness. In fact, his childhood offered little hint of the towering intellect he would become. He spoke so late that his parents worried he might never learn to talk. A family maid reportedly nicknamed him Der Deppert, or the dopey one. And yet, Einstein was quietly absorbing the world in ways others couldn't perceive. That compass, given to him when he was just 5, left an indelible mark. He later described it as his first encounter with the unseen forces that govern the natural world. It was a moment that lit a fire within him, one that would burn brightly for decades. But school was not a place where Einstein's brilliance was immediately recognized. He bristled under the rigid, authoritarian education system of late 19th century Germany. One teacher even told him he would never amount to anything. Einstein's love of learning flourished not in the classroom but in solitude, where he devoured books on mathematics and philosophy. By the time he was a teenager, he had taught himself advanced calculus and was captivated by the works of Kant and Spinoza. Still, his path forward was anything but smooth. After failing to secure a spot in a prestigious polytechnic school on his first attempt, Einstein eventually enrolled in Zurich Polytechnic. Even there, he was not the ideal student. Skipping lectures and neglecting exams, he frustrated professors who couldn't see beyond his unconventional methods. When he graduated in 1900, he found himself unemployed, aimless, and burdened with the weight of expectations. Enter what Einstein later called his miracle year. In 1905, while working a mundane job at the Swiss Patent Office, Einstein published not one, but 4 groundbreaking papers. These weren't just intellectual exercises, they were seismic events that shook the scientific world. Each paper tackled a fundamental question, from the nature of light to the existence of atoms, but it was his theory of special relativity that truly redefined the game. Time is not absolute. Those 4 words challenged centuries of scientific thought. Einstein proposed that time and space were interconnected, forming a flexible fabric that could bend, stretch, and warp under the influence of mass and energy. It was a concept so revolutionary, so mind-bending, that even seasoned physicists struggled to grasp its implications. And yet, Einstein's work was not just theoretical. It laid the foundation for technologies like GPS and particle accelerators, tools we now take for granted. But Einstein's genius wasn't confined to relativity. In that same miracle year, he proposed the idea of light quantiparticles of light we now call photons. This work would eventually earn him the Nobel Prize, though not without controversy. You see, Einstein's ideas were so far ahead of their time that they often sparked fierce debates. Many scientists dismissed him as a dreamer, someone whose theories were more fantasy than fact. By the 1910s, however, Einstein's reputation was beginning to catch up with his intellect. His general theory of relativity, published in 1915, was even more audacious than his earlier work. It introduced the idea that massive objects like stars and planets could curve space-time itself, like a bowling ball on a trampoline. The theory predicted phenomena so strange they seemed almost magical. The bending of light around stars, the slowing of time near massive objects, and the existence of black holes. Then came 1919, the year Einstein's genius was confirmed in spectacular fashion. During a solar eclipse, astronomers observed the bending of starlight exactly as Einstein had predicted. Overnight, he became a global celebrity. Newspapers hailed him as a modern-day Copernicus, a man whose ideas had shifted the axis of human understanding. But fame was a double-edged sword. As Einstein's face became one of the most recognizable in the world, his personal life unraveled. His first marriage, to Mileva Mari, ended in a bitter divorce, and his relationship with his children was strained. Yet even in his personal struggles, Einstein's humanity shone through. He was known for his wit, his humility, and his unwavering commitment to peace and justice. Einstein's later years were marked by his outspoken opposition to war and his efforts to promote international cooperation. A pacifist at heart, he was deeply troubled by the rise of fascism in Europe. As a Jew, he was forced to flee Germany in 1933 when the Nazis came to power. Settling in the United States, he took a position at Princeton University, where he continued his work until his death. But Einstein's story doesn't end there. His theories, once seen as radical and unprovable, have been confirmed time and again through experiments and observations. The bending of light, the warping of time, the existence of gravitational waves, these are no longer just ideas but measurable realities. And his legacy extends beyond science. Einstein's name has become synonymous with genius, a testament to his enduring impact on both our understanding of the universe and the potential of the human mind. As we look back on the life of Albert Einstein, we're reminded that great minds often defy convention. They challenge the status quo, ask the questions others won't, and dare to imagine worlds beyond the limits of current understanding. Einstein himself once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." Perhaps that's the greatest lesson he left us: the power of curiosity, creativity, and the courage to dream.